So to get a job, you need experience. And to get experience, you need a job. I know, that sounds quite like the chicken and egg puzzle. Who came first? Chicken or egg, I don't know. But luckily, the job versus experience dilemma, I'm gonna solve for you. And the answer is internships. Yes, that's what this video is about. How do you go ahead get your first internship? But wait, who am I? Why should you be taking advice from me? Well, here's a little something that might help. Before I actually graduated, so within my bachelor's itself, I had offers from 2 MNCs, 6 startups, and 2 DRDO offices. And in this video, I'm gonna help you get the same kind of offers during your education as well. So let's begin. The first step to getting an internship is to really go ahead and acquire the basics. Now, you would want to know at this point as to which exact field you want the internship to be in. Whether you want to be a web designer, digital marketer, content writer, or something else, it's something that you need to decide for yourself at first. And you might be a very niche field student as well. You might have something such as, a mechanical engineer, or you might want to work in a particular field as well, which is very niche field, but that's completely fine. Figure it out and then see which internships are available in that field. You can use any online platforms, search for internships online on Google, and then understand the requirements of that position. So the best platforms to search would be Internchala, LinkedIn, there's a couple of other platforms as well. But what you will see is that for every internship, they actually will be listing down exactly what you need to know to get that internship. For instance, here's a digital marketing internship from Internchala. It clearly lists down the skills required. And the skills are digital marketing, English proficiency, search engine optimization, and social media marketing. Now, these are the skills, for instance, for a digital marketing position. Again, here's a position on LinkedIn, and this is a content writing internship. And the requirements over here at the bottom, you can see, are that you should have a professional level of proficiency in English. You should be able to commute to the job's location, and you should be comfortable working in an online setting as well. All right, so these are the requirements. Again, so you basically have to figure out what the requirements of most of these positions are, what kind of skills you need to acquire, and then once you have them, you need to create a list of such skills. Finally, you focus on this list and you find online unpaid courses. Trust me, for all the internships I received, I also used to think that maybe if I go for paid platforms, get certificates from these platforms online, I would probably benefit more as compared to, let's say, just learning it on YouTube. But that is not the case. Companies care about what you know, what you can do, and they will actually be able to see that in the interview if you really know your stuff. All right. So the way to actually go about it is to go ahead, understand, learn, study in the best way possible. It doesn't have to be paid. It can be unpaid. Of course, if you're going for an internship, I don't expect you to be very rich already at this point. But what you want to do is you want to gain the skill. And like I said, don't worry about going for unpaid sources because those would work the best in many cases. Once you acquire these skills, now this is the important part. We move on to point number 2, and that is to showcase what you have learned till date. So what you want to do is you want to showcase your skills, and the best way to do that is to create some projects, some samples that you can actually show off during the interview. It also helps drive the interview in your direction. Let me give you an example. Even during my placement interviews, I had on my resume that I worked on a particular project using Django, which is a programming framework and basically we created websites using that, and there was a lot of other stuff on my resume which was around Django, that okay, this is everything that I've done, these are the projects that I built. Now, instead of just randomly asking me coding questions, which the interviewer was actually doing in most of the cases for other candidates, this interviewer actually started asking me about my experience in this project, how did I perform a particular operation in this project, which made it very easy for me, essentially because I had made that project myself, right? So I knew exactly how things worked in that project, exactly how the cogs worked, and it was very easy for me to explain it to him. And due to that, I was hired in one of the best MNCs, one of the top 5 companies in the world at this point for consulting, and that was the first company that came to my college. So personally, what I would suggest is if you are a web designer, build a website. If you are, let's say, someone who's a content writer, create content, create your blogs that you can show off. If you're a digital marketer, show off your SEO, create your own website, create content on it, get a good ranking in terms of your domain authority. Try to do all of these things. If you're a social media influencer, try to get good amount of followers. You try to get content that is watched regularly by your viewers. There's a lot of things you can do. Now we move on to point number 3, which would be, again, one of the final steps at this stage, because you have the projects down, you have the skills. Now all that you're left with is to create an amazing resume which shows what you've done. So in your resume, again, you want to detail everything that you have built, all the skills you have acquired, and what you have done with those skills. Your projects, your any of these things that you have built, right? Samples. Now, what I advise for you guys is that if you're doing this for the first time, build a single page resume only. Don't cross one page, and try to keep the single page resume concise, to the point, but also not having a lot of blank space. A good example would be to go on to Google and search for the MIT format. We all know MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Yes, it's not the Manipal one. And Massachusetts Institute of Technology, one of the most important research institutions in the whole wide world, has given us this format, which seems to be very plain. Some people like to put a lot of colors on their resume, make it colorful, pretty, which is fine, but at the end of the day, for most of the employers who sometimes process your resume automatically also, this is the best format to move forward with. It's easy, it's proven, and it simply works. You can download this format from the link in my description right here, and once you download it, start making it your own. Remember, if you are applying to multiple positions, let's say one digital marketing position and one content writing position, you want to alter the resume accordingly. One should show your digital marketing skills and the other your content writing skills and samples. Final point, that's 4, and that is to find opportunities. And this is the most important yet most difficult point. So we all know about online platforms. You can look into Internshala, LinkedIn, Job Hai, Hirect. You can look at Indeed. These are really the platforms where you can try to start finding internships for yourself, and you will start seeing success by, if you really are seriously applying and you're picking up the phone calls when the employer calls you, answering the chats on these platforms, you're active on these platforms, it really would not take more than 1.5 to 2 weeks for you to see an offer in most cases. But now comes the part where you might say, hey, but I want an internship with the government offices, or I want a research internship. Let me give you a couple of examples of that, and for each of these there's a specific way to move forward. For instance, for DRDO, some of the most prominent research institutions within India, right? If you want to be a part of that, you have to email the professors and the researchers working at DRDO. You have to find out their emails. You have to go to each and every website of every DRDO campus you can find. You have to see which person is working in a field that you can contribute to, right? And then after that, what you have to do is you have to really go ahead, email them, tell them about what kind of work you've been doing and how you can contribute to their work. All of this concisely. You write it too long, you write an essay, no one's gonna read it. So that's how you do it for DRDO. I did it and I got offers from DRDO Bangalore. One was Debil, I remember, and I went for that one as well. And there was another one from DRDO Delhi, but I got it a little bit later. I already chose the Bangalore one back then, so I could not go to the Delhi one. Anyway, but that's one way. Let's talk about another example over here, which is the MyTax internship. MyTax Global Link internship is a research internship where you basically get to fly to Canada. Again, it's similar. You get to research with some of the topmost research professors in the world and contribute to their research. And again, you have a list of projects over there and how you can contribute. You can apply to multiple projects, multiple professors. It's a very exciting gig. Now for this one, you have to go ahead, apply to the website online, and there's a specific time period where you can apply. And I keep you updated on my channel and on my Instagram again, if you're following me over there, as to when the applications open up every year. There's other opportunities as well, such as CERN Open Lab, which is based in Switzerland, where you actually get to go to CERN. We all know about the nuclear research that goes on at CERN. It's very famous, and you get to be a part of that, you can even contribute in computing. You don't actually have to do the physics, right? There's a lot of great opportunities out there. But for all of these opportunities, you have to be aware of what's going on around you. What are the deadlines? There's a lot more. I can't even go through the list with you here. But if you're following me on Instagram and subscribe to YouTube, you will have all the updates about the major national and international internships coming up. In a nutshell, it's not very difficult. This video explains everything you need to know. There's really no other secret sauce that you have to work with to actually get your internship. It's really as simple as that. Put in the work, follow this, and I assure you, you will have your internship in your hands sooner than you think. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Share it with the people who need to know, and I'll see you in the next one.